So-called deaths. 10,000 people have died. But you know what they're also telling you? Overestimated the number of deaths.
Then you are home.
The Valley's News Talk and Podcasts. Talk Central Phoenix.
Hey, what's up, Phoenix? I'm Jeff Rich from Central City Radio Sports. Check out my show, Jeff Rich, live from Phoenix, where we take an unabridged look at the sports world with the latest from the Valley and around the country. We discuss the Suns, Cardinals, Sun Devils, Yotes, and D-backs with the best guests from local print, talk, and digital media. Find Jeff Rich live from Phoenix on CentralCityRadio.com and the Central City Radio app.
Okay, so I'm really confused because, my dad's Latino and my mom is white, so does that mean I can only listen to, half of Chips and Salsa?
That's the smartest thing I've ever heard anyone say about anything.
We are back. This is the Chips and Salsa Show. I'm Alice Lara, your host. Normally, my buddy, partner in radio crime, Don Jorge, is here, but guess what? He had to work today, so he's not. But Rachel was our co-host from the last hour, and she had to leave. We're hoping she comes back next week. We'll see. Maybe we'll have a special announcement. I have a special guest with me for the rest of this hour. Arizona's getting ready to have their gubernatorial election. And what that means is we're getting ready to do that. Our primary is in August. And forgive me because I'm trying to find my little thing here. Here you go. Okay. Our candidate with us today, and in full disclosure, we are former Democrats became Republicans. And we try to have as many candidates as we can as possible. So this candidate contacted me, and I'm going to be very careful with her name. And if I mess it up, she's going to correct me. Paola Tulliani. Did I do all right? Tulliani. I'm sorry.
Zen, but just call me Z. That's it.
Z?
Just make it simple.
All right.
All right.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us on the Chips and Salsa Show today. And what I'd like to start out with, I think it'd be good. My friend Nicole Mercado, she is in our Legislative District 27, and we live in the Roosevelt School District.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to get candidates for the school board. She's going to run. She's a fantastic candidate. She's lived in the area. She's from the area. She's a mama. She's smart. She speaks Spanish. She follows stuff. I'm going to play this voicemail that I asked her to leave me because I think it's a good way for us to start because I know you care about education. Mm-hmm. All right?
Yes.
So let's be patient. We're going to play a couple minutes of it. Oh, I'm not getting volume.
Did you get volume? Did you put it on speaker?
There we go.
Proposals that we are asked to being vote on here in the Roosevelt School District and also across the city, as many schools are asking for these bonds and overrides. If you're wondering what those are, bonds are basically loans from a bank to pay for school expenses that will essentially be required to be paid back by the taxpayers. And an override is a request for an increase in going over school budget to pay for certain expenses as well. Now, with the ever unstable condition of our economy and the rising prices in houses and everything else, the way that our payback will be calculated will be based on the increased price of our home's assessed value. Now, if you look in the pamphlets that are sent out and also in your tax statements that have been recently received, you'll see that they are calculating this based on a house that is at $100,000 value, and most houses now are way above that. So the projections of how much us as taxpayers will be paying back for these requests are almost going to be triple or quadruple the amounts that are listed in these pamphlet proposals. With the residents in our school district alone, many have reached out and are paying upwards of 70% plus of their property taxes towards education. Now, we all want our children to have a great quality education. There's no doubt about that. But is more money going to solve that? In a recent Goldwater article by the Goldwater Institute, it is estimated that over $14,000 of the Arizona State education budget is going to be allocated per K through 12 student. That is a lot of money. So, with our school district, in particular, Roosevelt School District, 87% of the schools in the district are below average and have been below average. Again, is more money going to solve that?
No.
We need to make sure that we are attending the school board meetings. We need to make sure that we're asking for financial transparency. And we need to make sure that we can get these meetings back in person so that parents can voice their concerns and figure out what the real problem is. And for that, we are asking a no vote on both the bond and override requests. Now, I leave it up to you to check with your particular school district, check your particular property.
All right.
Yes.
That's pretty much, I thought she did a really good job summing it up.
Identifying, yes. And,
Right.
you know, you have to look at, do we really need the money? Where is it going? Where has it been going? You know, we really need to, like she said, why can't we have the transparency? Why can't we have the numbers per district? You know, if I was treasurer, that's what I would present to the governor or the legislators and the superintendent. But if I'm governor, I would expect that. I want to know exactly where our money is going in education, because I believe it's misappropriated. It's not going to the teachers. It's not going into the classrooms. Okay? Everybody is accountable, but also on the level of our government, there should be accountability. You know, I spoke with the last treasurer, Royce, who left January, and I said, I want to know. I got a profit and loss and a stack of papers that give me all the numbers, but I don't have a breakdown. I want a breakdown per district. I want to see where the money is going and what percentage is this district that has 4 schools and the other one that has 14 schools. How much money are we allocating to these schools? It should be based on the students' percentage and how much is going. When we had more money put in there, where did it go? Administration takes it, they decide what to do with it. It's got to be channeled down to the teachers, and that's what they're asking. They're asking for more money for the teachers or the classrooms. We really don't know if it's going to be going there. We don't know. First of all, I don't believe that we need more money in education. I believe the money is there, and that's what you said. We want transparency.
Absolutely. And a lot of times, these overrides, they pass without hardly any trouble at all. They just pass. It's the children. We need more money and things like that. And just like she said, we just got our property tax bill and the breakdown, and I calculated it was 74% of the taxes that I pay. They all went to the education stuff.
Exactly. And I have a commercial building, a big percentage again. They get it from a commercial. And some of the districts that don't have as much commercial, they're not getting as much tax. How is it allocated? I'm going to be researching. I want to take 4 or 5 school districts and break down their budgets, because we have a fiscal responsibility. We can't keep going like this. And she's right. Look at how we're being taxed. Look at our economy today. We're suffocating our people. Can't continue. No. And you know what? Before you give money, you look at where is the money and where is it allocated, and really, is this the truth? Do we need that? Nobody's researched this.
Yeah, and what happens after that? A few years ago, there was a gentleman who ran, Andy Zhang ran for Roosevelt School District, and we were in a forum, and he just point blank told them, says, some of them that were running again were members of the school board. Where is this $1 million?
That's right. Where did it go?
And I don't think the question was ever answered. But I wanted to open that. We're running for governor, and I know you care about education. You just explained that and expressed that after listening to it.
Let me say, I'm glad parents are standing up and pushing back and have become aware what their children are being taught. And no, we don't want any more taxes. We can't take any more. All right.
True.
Right.
Especially now in this period of Bidenflation.
But I believe also they're starting to look at the curriculum that's in place. Some of it is unacceptable. It really is. To be teaching our children at 4th grade, perhaps, the sexual preferences, whatever, that doesn't belong there. But the responsibility is to the parent. And the government, federal government, and some of the schools are trying to take that away from the parents. And this individual who's stepping up, that's fantastic. And I think we need more. And I think the awareness, critical race theory was the tip of the iceberg. All of a sudden, you're starting to discover so much more. How deep does it go?
Right.
We got a swamp there itself, right?
It opened the door. You're absolutely right. So that was Nicole Mercado. If anyone is voting next week, that's the Roosevelt School District, for this bond override, vote no. And she's running for the school board district, which that'll be in November. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back and focus totally on your race. And we're so excited. We're going to stretch a little bit more? Okay, thank you. Paola, so nice to come in. And this has been kind of a different type of show. Usually we just have 1 hour show, so we appreciate your patience with everything. And it's exciting because we have a full plethora of candidates out here for Arizona. But that's good.
There's a lot. And you know what? Well, maybe you should ask me the questions before I ask myself a question.
That's fine. If you have a better question, by all means, ask it.
People would say, why are you running? Well, I said, look at my age. Why am I running? I'm perfectly comfortable. I sold my business to a national company years ago. I live in a small ranch. I have animals, just as pets. I have horses, big dogs.
It's very Arizona, Paula.
It is very Arizona, isn't it? I'm very in.
All right, so we're gonna take a break, and we're gonna come back and talk more about why you're running and what you're thinking about doing and what you'd like to do. But don't go away. We'll be right back. I'm Alice Lotta here for the Chips and Salsa Show. We'll be back in just a couple minutes to walk on some more.
This is the Valley's News Talk and Podcasts. Talk Central Phoenix, a Central City radio station.
Only in the forest can you see this. And this. And this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
I didn't know it could do that!
Because one trip to the forest can spark a world of difference.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, canoeing, fishing, or camping. Or create your own adventure with family and friends, and you might just see this. Your moment's out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
What are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
Well, what are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. Don't you remember me? Don't you know that we miss you?
Miss me? Who misses me?
You know, all your friends in the forest. The trees, the pond, that little fort that you made out of branches. We all miss you.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
The forest is not that far away. Have an adventure today. I'm sure your mom would take you.
You're right. I should get out. I want to have fun. Play in puddles, catch frogs, and climb trees. Hey, Mom!
Yeah, hon? Steven, what is that in your hand?
It's my sense of adventure, Mom. It's telling me we need to get out of the house and have some fun in nature today.
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby.
Brought to you by if I give you a key and you know that it's a key but you don't know where it belongs, then that would be dementia. But if I give you a key and you don't know what it is, then that's Alzheimer's.
Then you are home. The Valley's News Talk and Podcasts. Talk Central Phoenix.
And now, back to more of the Chips and Salsa Show.
Which of the Latin countries are you from? The one with the Civil War, the one with the cocaine, or the one with the fancy
And we are
hats?
back with the Chips and Salsa Show. Thank you for joining us today, Chipsters. I'm Alice Lotta here on the Chips and Salsa Show. We're here every Tuesday at 4 p.m. normally. Today we have a special guest in studio, and she's giving me some help here with her name. But it's kind of like Spanish Paola, but it's Paola.
Paola Tulliani Zen. Call me Z.
Call you Z. I like that.
Z.
Z's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about right here on the break how, a lot of the people that are running sometimes, they aren't necessarily politicians. And I think in today's world, it's kind of attractive, And you aren't. You say you've never run for office before?
No, I haven't. I've been a business person all my life.
So that's good experience. I mean, we had a business person that was just president of the United States, and we thought he did a pretty good job.
That's right. I think a business person has to recognize we have a fiscal responsibility. We take care of it like it's our own money. And then also you have the ability. You know, I think a person that gets into this position has to be creative, has to create solutions and create a plan that can be implemented to deliver. And that's a business person. And I've always been like that in my business. And maybe you don't know. Do you know what business
I was just going to ask you, what kind of business did you run? Mm-hmm.
I built right here in Arizona La Dolce Vita. It's a biscotti company.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
You know?
Familiar.
And it was purchased by a national company. And, of course, they're still in Starbucks, Godiva, Costco. It's a big buyer.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked in it for over 25 years. So then I sold it, and now I'm thinking this is probably the last opportunity that I can contribute, you know, to Arizona.
Well, you went all full tilt. I mean, you could have run for a lower office, we'll say. What made you decide on governor?
You know why? And I've learned this in my business, and I've learned also with the corporation that has come in. Unless you have leadership position, you cannot make the positive changes you want. I have never been number two. Never. My whole life, even when I was young, I had to win. And if my energy and ability is there to win, I want to do it. Because we cannot continue this way. We are not becoming a third world country. We're America. We're Arizona. And I see people rising. You know, people were upset that Trump lost. My God, yeah. But you know what? He woke us up.
That's right.
Right? Now we've got to do the job. Okay? We are seeing what our government's all about, what they're trying to do to us, and we have to stay firm. And I'm Italian. I'm an American Italian. I love this country. And you know what? I stay firm. I always find out what the problem is, and I look at what our options are and create a solution. And I don't wait months. I don't wait years to have another meeting. I have a meeting like the next day or 2 days after, and it continues until we have a solution, because we need to make this state move.
Boy, that's Arizona. You know, it's Make America Great Again, but we need to keep Arizona great. We really do.
We do. And you know what? We have also, talk about our education, we have 42% that are Latino population, right? Right?
You know what? I should know that, but you're probably, I would say that's probably
right,
pretty close.
Phoenix and all the counties, it's huge. What are we putting out in our society? We want success in our society, in our Arizona, but we attack the Latinos. You know, I think we should give them a big thank you. They built our Arizona, and they continue. Because I came from Italy, and I remember the 50s, 60s, 70s. It was the young men, the Italian guys, building the houses, the buildings, the sewers. They were the workforce in many, many cities. And today, the generation is the Hispanics. All right? We have their children, 42%, and they're passed on to high school without a good understanding of English and math. Well, you know, I came from Italy. You know who taught me first grade and second? I was in the dark. It was the nun. Kept me after school 3 days a week. I learned English by second grade, and I became an A student in English. Okay? I may not have the extensive education like, you know, a master's in science. No, I have common sense, and I have experience, and I know what the hell I'm doing.
Wow. So English was not your first language.
No.
Italian was. Italian and Spanish are very similar.
In fact, in my facility, I employed over 100 people, and I go back there, and they say, "Did you comprende? Mi comprende?" And they say, "Sí, señora, mezzo italiano, mezzo español." Okay,
absolutely.
half and half. And so they had to learn a few words in Italian, and I learned some Spanish. But we need to give the ability to tutor these children. Okay, you don't pass them on. You don't pass them to high school where they absolutely have no confidence. And you know what? They're going to go with gangs, or they're not going to succeed in their life because they never got the confidence and they don't have that ability. I was just amazed at some districts telling me that over 80% did not speak English in 8th grade.
I don't even know how that happens. You know, we could have like a whole entire show about that.
That's a whole thing in education, but we have to empower our children to empower our society. And it's just not the Hispanics. It's underprivileged.
Right.
And it's all children.
It's all our children.
All our children. We've got to give them the best education possible, and the curriculum we have in school should be the best curriculum we can give them, and it should be real American curriculum. This is where we are.
Restore America. Z, I want to ask you, so we do have other candidates. What makes you, would you say that you're stronger and should be our governor over the rest of our candidates?
Well, probably the tenacity I've had.
Republican candidates I'm talking about, of course.
Well, probably the ability to create solutions, and I've always been like that all my life. And the determination. I never give up. And I think that's what we need, a governor that doesn't give up. All right? And it's for the good of our people. I'm not self-serving. I don't intend to ever be on a pedestal. I don't like the accolades. I believe many politicians get on that pedestal and they become God. And what happens when they become God? They're dictators. They do it to us and not for us. So why am I different? I think I have the ability. And I have the ability to meet the deadlines and really to look into everything. I want to understand everything. That's the kind of person I've been. I've always asked a lot of questions, but I always wanted to figure and solve everything. In fact, I can remember 5th grade, and I would put my hand up, and I got the answer. It's the third time she says, "Put your hand down, Paula. Let someone else have a chance." I said, but nobody has their hand up. Okay, so I was always really quick with the answer, solving situations, and I've experienced that in my own business because, La Dolce Vita, in the 25 years, there's been miracles, and I could have failed so many times. And I was right on the edge, but I always believed there's a miracle next morning, and you know what? Next morning there was. And I think people should all believe in that. And we need miracles in our Arizona, in our country. Okay? It's interesting that everybody's calling on God now. Isn't it? We should never have stopped. That's right. We have a right to have the Pledge of Allegiance in our class. We have a right to believe in the God or the religion we have. We have a right not to be vaccinated. All right? We have to give the parents their rights. Those are their children.
Well, and just recently, was it Terry McAuliffe, the gubernatorial candidate back east? Mm-hmm. And I think he got up and said, you know what? The school board will decide what to teach your children. And the parents are going, well, what the heck? What is going on in your head? And I hope for that reason, I really hope he loses his election. We'll see what happens.
That's ridiculous. What is this becoming? China? Obviously, this is what they want. They want one world. We're selling our land. We're selling now our education. We're giving up on what is America. No, we're not going to do this. And you know what? The governor will protect this state. And why am I different? I believe that I would push back. I would pick up the phone and call Abbott. I would call Tennessee. I call Nome and say, we're going to get together. And you know what? We're going to fight and push back the federal government because united, if we get 7 to 10 governors united, we will push back. Go on all the media and say, not in our state. We can't have it in our state.
When we come back, I want to talk some more about that, working with other governors, and we'll get to some more direct issues that involve Arizona. So we've got one more break. We still have one more segment left with Z, who is a candidate for Arizona governor. Coming up in 2022, it's almost here. I'm Alice Latta here on the Chips and Salsa Show. Please don't go away. Stay with us for the very last segment of this exciting Chips and Salsa Show with our candidate, Z, for Arizona governor.
The Valley's home for podcasts. Talk Central Phoenix. Get the app on iTunes or Google Play.
Hey, what's up, Phoenix? I'm Jeff Rich from Central City Radio Sports. Check out my show, Jeff Rich, live from Phoenix, where we take an unabridged look at the sports world with the latest from the Valley and around the country. We discuss the Suns, Cardinals, Sun Devils, Yotes, and D-backs with the best guests from local print, talk, and digital media. Find Jeff Rich live from Phoenix on CentralCityRadio.com and the Central City Radio app.
Only in the forest can you see this. And this. And this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
I
didn't know it could do that.
Because one trip to the forest can spark a world of difference.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, canoeing, fishing, or camping. Or create your own adventure with family and friends, and you might just see this. Your moment's out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
What are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
Well, what are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. Don't you remember me? Don't you know that we miss you?
Miss me? Who misses me?
You know, all your friends in the forest. The trees, the pond, that little fort that you made out of branches. We all miss you.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
The forest is not that far away. Have an adventure today. I'm sure your mom would take you.
You're right. I should get out. I want to have fun. Play in puddles, catch frogs, and climb trees. Hey, Mom!
Yeah, hon? Steven, what is that in your hand?
It's my sense of adventure, Mom. It's telling me we need to get out of the house and have some fun in nature today.
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008.
Brought to you by the U.S.
He really
Forest
likes to
Service
be
and
around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star, and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open. Don't speak with your mouth full. Keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
When you hear the Angie Austin and Michael Pelka Show.
People I know who have their seedlings started for the vegetable garden.
Yeah, me too.
If you can't grow your own food, that seems to be a little bit intrusive.
Then you are home. The Valley's News Talk and Podcast. Talk Central Phoenix.
And now, back to more of the Chips and Salsa Show.
Which of the Latin countries are you from? The one with the Civil War, the one with the cocaine, or the one with the fancy hats?
Ready? We are back with the Chips and Salsa Show. I'm Alice Lara. Thank you for tuning in today, chipsters and chipsteros and chipsterinas. We have a wonderful guest with us today. You know, we like to interview as many Republican candidates as possible. And today we have Z, and I'm going to give her just 30 seconds to give your information, your website, if people want to contact you. How can they do that?
Go to z4arizona.com. Z4Arizona.com.
That's nice and easy.
It's easy.
Z4Arizona.com. I'm sure you're taking donations now. Are you running traditional or clean?
Traditional.
Traditional? Okay. Good deal. Sometimes the show and the break is even better. But what I wanted to talk about, we want to hit some of the issues like immigration.
Yes.
We're a border state, and we've got our own little problems here. What are your thoughts about that? What different things might you do to handle this problem that we have?
Well, unfortunately, the election is 15 months away. I'm not governor. But if I was governor, and what they should do now is unite and push back federal government and try to get the manpower we need at that border, because you have to deter the immigrants that are coming in. And we have to do it humanely. I mean, I'm looking at Abbott with 20 horses. What's that? You got 20,000 people. Come on, let's use logic. Let's do a plan. You get other states to contribute to bring in their National Guards.
Can they do that? Is that allowed to do that?
Yes, you can call on National Guards. I mean, if you have participation, I don't know how well trained they are, and that's something I'm researching now. I talked to the sheriff yesterday, and he said it really needs military. And the military, it's the federal government, it's the administration that would have to call it out. Now, if they're not willing, and that's why I say the power of these governors, if they came strong and says, we demand that our border has the military there. We demand the power that is required to protect that border. It
is national security.
It is, absolutely. It's for all the states. Some of them are not as affected, but there's a lot of them that are. Okay, I think DeSantis would be in, Abbott would be in. Of course, Ducey, we might have to rope him in. And you've got Nome. I'm sure a lot of people don't go to South Dakota as much, but you know what? You have these states say, eventually it's going to affect you. We need to unite. We need to bring us together and push back, because at one time the states were independent. They ruled their own state until we became the United States. So think about that. We were always in control. So it's a matter of the governor having the strength and the guts to do it. And I don't stop. I will not go across, I will not just go, how would you say, I will go not only across the aisle, but across the state. And then the power of these governors will have a voice. Put it out in all the media. Show the American people that you are working for us. Do we see that? All we see in the media is that they're complaining what the Democrats are doing. Or this bill that they want to pass, and, oh my gosh, 2 votes away. We're in danger. Senators, even the January 6th, I hate to bring that up, our senators, Republicans, should have created their own committee. Not allow just the Democrat committee. They were booted off, 2 of them, right? Remember?
Right.
Well, why did they say, hey, you know what? We got our own committee. Let's interview this properly. But where are our Republicans? I feel they have failed us greater than the Democrats, because we know what the Democrats are. But the Republicans, we trusted them. We elected them. Just like when you elect me, you're going to have faith and trust that I'm going to do the right thing for you. And you know what? I'll always pick up the phone. I'll have people answering the phone. They tell you, call your congressman, call your senator. Did you ever say that? You got an issue, call them. You can't even get through. You got voicemail and they never answer. You email, never answer. So how are they serving the people that have put them there? Again, it's back on that pedestal. I'm not better than anybody in Arizona. I'm one of Arizonans. I'm one of you. And I know that at this time in my life, if this I can give this service, this ability, and make some positive changes or improvements to our state, I want to do that.
Well, it's certainly attractive for a lot of people to have someone who hasn't been in politics all their life to come fresh. And you've lived in Arizona for a very long time.
47 years.
You're familiar with everything that goes on here. Another concern that I don't think is being talked enough about are water issues.
Our water issue. Well, I went to, I try to find out about everything. I've gone to the Pinal County. They have a serious situation. In fact, they say if they don't have water, even the houses that are built on, they said, would settle. Okay? So they're going to have cracks and they have a problem. Well, I said, did you try to renegotiate with the Indians? They said, no, that's not possible. Then they're looking into wells. But also, I'm having another meeting Friday with a supervisor that's coming out to my ranch, and we're talking about water. We've talked about it for 3 or 4 times, but this time, what is the possibility of redirecting some of the water from Yellowstone Park, I hear St. Louis. If we redirect it, I know some of it goes into the Mississippi. Well, Mississippi doesn't need it. They get flooded all the time. So they really need to do something and come up with a solution. And what they've done for this last 20 years is talk about it. They've researched and talk about it. Somebody's got to come up with a solution. Yeah, it's going to be costly, but maybe it's going to impact all of Arizona or in a positive way. We need to make the initial investment. We don't have a water problem now. Certain areas do, like Pinal County. We have enough water for many years yet, but I think we need to plan and do it now. That's what I've discovered.
Well, and that's good to hear because we certainly are a growing state. We just keep growing and growing, and people still want to come here.
When did you come here?
I've been here in December 85.
I came in 72, and you know what? We were under just shy of 2 million. We are 7 million people, or a little over, right?
I think we're over.
We're over 7 million. So we need to do something now to provide for the people the use of the waters. You know, if you notice, you don't have developments that can go in. They can't get certificates because they cannot get water certificates. So, you know, we're going to be stuck, all right? It's interesting, though. They give water certificates to a lot of apartments. Did you notice that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But single-family homes, it's difficult to have a development go in. Remember, he used to have developments, they would have like 100 homes. You have a gated community or development that would, Richmond American, or they cannot give those certificates any longer. They cannot get the water rights. Water certificate.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So I know something. I will be extremely versed in another month because I'm having meeting after meeting, and people have brought up options. And, you know, even Ducey, he's had a meeting with Kyle, and it went nowhere. You know, it's the Bureau, Federal Bureau, that allocates what our water rights are, our land rights are, how much federal land they take, how much they can release. Well, think about it. They did this in 1992, and it has not changed, and we have 7 million people. Somebody's got to fight for this state.
Wow, it's pretty powerful. Okay, so we just have maybe a minute or two left. What have we not touched on that you'd like to touch on, Z? We've hit a lot of interesting things, and I invite you, if you'd like to contact her, go to her website. Do you have a phone number or an email you want to give out?
Yes, of course. Of course I have a phone number.
Or that you would like to give out?
Yeah, it's always.
Because some people might have them they don't want to give out. No.
You know what? It's interesting. You get politicians, you cannot find their phone number on their cards. My card, I put my phone number.
I love that.
You know what? I said they're probably praying that somebody calls them. Nobody's calling them, all right? No, you call. If you have any issue you want to discuss, I welcome it. Go to my email, or use the phone. Use the phone. I remember nobody answers their phone anymore.
Oh, that's very true. They're afraid to. If they don't identify your number. I'm that way to a certain extent. The best thing to do, I tell people, text me, because usually it's difficult. Anything else, it's the best way to get quick information. We have 1 minute left. 30 seconds, whatever you want to say.
Well, I know I'm doing this, and I question myself every day the first few months, what the heck am I doing, okay? But I know as I've gotten into this and I've become aware of the situations, and I've also met a lot of present politicians and candidates, I know that I can do the job for Arizona. I know that this can be a great state.
Thank you, Z, for coming in to do the Chips and Salsa show. Hopefully we can have you back again. Thanks to Anna Marie, your assistant here. And we will be back next week. We have a really good show next week, too. We have Charlie Ellis with Operation Enduring Gratitude. He's going to talk about his run. We also have a candidate who's Arizona Superintendent of Public Instruction, Shiri Sapir. So you won't want to miss it. Thank you today for a special 2-hour show, and be back with us next Tuesday at 4 p.m. I'm Alice Lada, and George will be back, I think, the week after. So have a wonderful, great week. Oh, happy Halloween.
Thank you. Thank you.
When you need to know, this is Talk Central, a Central City radio station.
2 more more days until the president leaves town. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. He's heading to a G20 meeting and a climate summit in Europe, which means time's running out for in-person talks with members of Congress this week. Fox's Jared Halpern is live on Capitol Hill.
The Democrats are working to secure final agreement on a social spending package long sought by President Biden.
There are a lot of different tax proposals that are out there that are being discussed by members right now as a means of not just paying for the package, but again, making the system more fair.
Press Secretary Jen Psaki says the president will continue meeting with